how's it going, everyone? This is a game that I played in the day 25 video, and I kind of wanted to go over it with you guys and just to kind of show how strong and powerful the Vienna Gambit is. It's a little bit of a different variation this time, but it's just as lethal. And so, again, this opening can be really good for beginner level players, because a lot of people will play into the Vienna Gambit, right? Which is the wrong thing to do, and you can win a lot of games that way. So the game starts off e5 or e4, e5, knight c3, and then knight f6. And then remember, anytime you see knight f6, that's your cue to go into the Vienna Gambit. And the Vienna Gambit starts off with pawn f4. Okay, so instead of taking this time, the opponent goes knight c6, which is better than taking, but there's still a lot of ways to play against it. And so the correct way to play is you take the pawn on e5, the opponent takes back on e5 with the knight. Okay, so the correct move here is to play d4. So that's what I did. I played d4, and now the knight has to either retreat this way or this way. There's no forward moves for the knight, right? Because they're all in the line of capture. So the opponent goes knight g6, and then what you want to do here is chase this knight, right? You want to push your pawn forward and put pressure on this knight here. So that's what I did. I played e5. Now, once again, the opponent has no forward moves, right? It can only go back. Every move here can be captured. So he goes back to g8. And then a really important part of the game is you want to bring your knight out to f3, right? Because you want to avoid this check here. This check can cause you a lot of problems, and I don't want you guys to have to deal with that. So knight f3. Opponent went to bishop b4, and I thought about blocking with this bishop, but I didn't want to keep my bishop tied down to defending this knight until I was able to castle. And so I just kind of ignored it, and I went bishop to c4. I wanted to put pressure on this pawn here because my plan was to castle, possibly get my queen out into the game at some point. And if he doesn't take this knight, I'm going to bring this knight to d5. Okay, so that's the plan. So I decided to ignore that. I didn't mind doubling up my pawns. That just gives me a stronger center. And then I have the option to bring my bishop out this way, right? To put pressure on the king that way. So I ignored it. I played bishop c4. The opponent went knight to e7. And in this position, I thought about going here right away. And I think the computer likes that move. I think that's the top engine line, but I rejected it because I saw that he could just castle, and that pawn would be defended by the rook. So I decided to castle myself and prepare this, right? So I saw all this pressure here. Okay, so he took on c3. I took back with the bishop. He castled. And then I went knight j5 because now I have 3 attackers on this pawn. And so I saw how dangerous that was for the opponent. I went knight j5. He tried to chase me away, and I just took. And now this is a discovered check on the king. Okay, so he took the knight. I took with check. He went king h8. And an important move of the game here is I didn't take the knight, right? Because that's just a trade. And although I'm up in material, I don't want to give away a piece that's close to his king. I'd rather add an attacker, right? I'd rather make it more dangerous for him. This just kind of relieves the pressure for him, right? I'll probably still end up winning the game because I'm up the exchange, but I have to grind it down. This way it gives me a quicker win. So I ignored it, and I went queen h5. With the idea of possibly sacking here, and this is a discovered check that way. And the king can never move this way because of this bishop. Okay, so he went knight f8, and in this position, I thought I had a win. So I sacrificed the bishop here. I thought if he takes, this was just checkmate. I totally forgot that he could block with the knight. but I'm still completely winning. So that's what happened. He took back on h6. I took with check. He blocked with the knight. The evaluation, as you can see, says that I'm totally winning. His king is wide open, and I have my rook here in the f file. That's extremely powerful. This rook is coming into the game later. It's this is only move 16. His king is wide open, and he's in great danger. So it just shows you how strong the Vienna Gambit can be. Okay, so I went to knight f3. Excuse me, rook f3. My plan was to go rook h3, capture the knight, and win with checkmate. Wait, what happened here? He pushed this pawn, right? So a couple options here, right? I could have taken on en passant, but I decided, you know what? This bishop is now controlling this diagonal. It's become active in the game, and that prevents me from playing rook h3. So I saw that I had e6, right? That totally blocks the bishop, and it solidifies my bishop here, and it just makes the position worse for my opponent. So that's what I did. I played e6. Now his bishop is just trapped behind his pawn. He pinned himself by playing queen to f8. You know, he wanted to offer the queen trade. There's really not much that my opponent can do, so I understand why he did that. The best move was knight to g8, so to try to chase my bishop away, my queen. But instead he goes here, he offers the queen trade. Of course, I don't want to trade queens here, right? Because my queen is a very important attacker in my attack here, so I decided just to drop back, keep the pin on the knight this way. I dropped back, and he went queen g7, and I kind of knew that he was going to do that, and I saw that I had queen g3, right? And that just forces his queen back. Not queen g3, but rook g3. So that's what happened. He goes back, and the correct move here was check here. I didn't see that in the game. Instead, I went to rook f1, trying to bring another piece in the attack, pinning the queen. My plan was this. He went here, trying to bring the bishop into the game, and then I saw this move, right? So queen e5 check. And he resigned in this position because there's really only two things he can do, right? It's mate in 3. He can either block this way or he can block this way. Either move doesn't matter. He's gonna lose, right? So if he goes here, it's check and then checkmate, right? So the other move was here, and this is just checkmate. So it was a really good game, really powerful. And it was only 22 moves into the game, and my opponent resigned. And I just wanted to share this with you guys, just to show you how strong the Vienna Gambit can be. And so just remember, back on this move, anytime you see knight f6, that's your cue to play f4. The best defense against the Vienna Gambit is either playing d6 or d5. And that's the most challenging way to defend against it, and that'll start to happen as you climb the rating ladder. But I still see this move, knight f6, at the higher levels. I see it played, and so of course you're not going to win this way every single time with the Vienna Gambit, but there's a lot of people who still don't understand the lines, and so you can catch a lot of people off guard. And of course, taking is the worst thing you can do, because this just creates so much pressure, right? A lot of people, like in the last video, will try to go here, and that just makes things worse for them, because then you just block that way, and well, you guys seen the last video. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this video helps you. I hope you win a lot of games playing the Vienna Gambit. I know it's helped me so much, and yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope it was beneficial. So thanks, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.